art heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris. It all happened in less than 8 minutes on Sunday in broad daylight. And the thieves, guess what? They are still on the run. Elizabeth Palmer's in Paris with the very latest. Elizabeth, good morning to you. A lot of people still can't believe there has not been an arrest in this case. Major, major security breach.
Yeah, we're hearing from some experts. They expect the criminals will be caught, but the jewels won't be recovered. We'll have to see. There are many people down here at the Louvre, in spite of the fact that it's closed, but it's always closed on a Tuesday. Nevertheless, crowds have gathered to have a look at what is essentially a spectacular crime scene. The police found plenty of evidence under the thieves' ladder, including a power saw, gloves, and a walkie-talkie, as well as gasoline. Apparently, they'd wanted to burn their tools, but didn't have time. The robbers wanted France's crown jewels, priceless in historical terms, but broken up and sold on the black market, still worth multi-millions. This heist is...
How do you even sell something like this on the fucking black market? Like, I don't understand that. How do you even do that? They released the timeline?
30 minutes after the Louvre Museum opened on Sunday, thieves entered the building on the south side. The heist took a matter of minutes. Here's how it happened. At 9:30 on Sunday, 4 individuals arrived on scooters in a truck that had...
You break it down and cut the gems? Isn't it more expensive intact? Like the entire thing? Like, that's a crazy thing to steal just so you can sell the gems individually. Like, that's crazy. I feel like there's probably other jewels that you can steal that you could cut down as opposed to like destroying this like incredibly historically significant artifact. It's worth $102 million according to the French prosecutor. I don't think that these guys are going to fucking break it down. I think they're going to sell it to like a Russian oil oligarch or some shit. And I suspect that this is a targeted crime regardless. Like I assume that this was for a specific buyer in mind. I don't think you fucking do a heist on something so spectacular without having a buyer in mind ahead of time. There is 0% chance that this wasn't a sponsored hit because the most infamous jewelry theft gang with Balkan ties is known as the Pink Panthers, an outfit cited across Europe and Asia for dozens of jewel thefts worth hundreds of millions of dollars over the past couple of decades. I don't believe that this would be stolen. Something like this, like a historic artifact of this significance, would be stolen so that they could chop it up.
Mechanical ladder attached to the back of it. 2 of them ascended to the balcony and used power tools to carve into the outside window. At 9:34, they burst inside the Apollo gallery that houses all of the Louvre's special royal jewels and used their saws to break into 2 of those cases. In the meantime, we've been told that the security guards really quickly got people out of that room. This very wing of the Louvre also contains the Mona Lisa, so it's the most sort of precious things in France are there, but only 75% of the rooms have security cameras in them.
What?
4 minutes later, they emerge with 8 precious...
Wait, what? I'm sorry. So all of the most expensive items in the world's perhaps most famous museum, they're not under 24/7 surveillance? What the fuck? I can't be the only one who like loves heist movies and shit like that. And when I went to the Louvre, like one of the things that I was thinking is like, how do you pull this off? And with my primitive ape mind, I look around and I'm like, there's 0% chance you can steal anything in here. I thought it was like the entire room is like booby trapped. You know what I mean? It's because most of this stuff is hard to sell on, so it's not at risk. It's almost at worse than TwitchCon security. That is crazy.
Items, including tiara, necklaces, a beautiful brooch, and a crown that had been worn by the Empress. They ran out, dropping that crown along the way. They descended the same ladder.
They dropped
jumped on
the
motorcycles
crown?
and sped off. We know the investigation's ongoing, that they haven't ruled out any motive. I think there's a collective sense of sort of shock, distress, like you would feel if someone had come into your house and robbed you at home, but also profound sadness. There's a huge amount of pride.
Also, I thought, bro. I thought they were all dupes. I thought they were all dupes, brother. I didn't think that you had the real, genuine thing up there. Like, that's the other thing. Like, what? So this whole time when I went to the Louvre, like, I was looking at the real thing? I don't know what the fucking difference is. Why would you put the real thing right there? Yes, why do you think they're all dupes? What do you mean? Why would it be the real thing? I thought they just like dusted off the real thing from the tomes whenever there was like special clients or something. Why would you go to a museum? It's a museum. What do you think a museum is for? Wait, I'm so confused. What difference does it make? You don't know. I thought that's how they do it in the movies. What if they were dupes and this whole thing is just a way to make them think they got away with a big heist? Brother, you need to go to more museums. Bitch, I've been to more museums than you. I've been to every museum in Los Angeles, New York City, France. What are you talking about?
Pride about that museum. It is by far the most important museum in France. It's a former palace, and all of these jewels are really important treasures to the culture of France, the history of France. 30 minutes after the...
I cannot believe it, dude. Wow.
We are getting more of the incredible details through the day today of the robbery at the Louvre Museum, one that took less than 7 minutes from the moment the group of 3 or 4 thieves broke into the first floor of the southeast building at the museum, smashing a window. Dressed, it's reported as workmen. 9:30 this morning, broad daylight, and using an extendable power ladder from outside, using then a workman's lift to get into the room they'd targeted. It's been described by Laurent Nunez, the Interior Minister, as priceless historical and cultural value that's been taken. It's not clear exact at the moment as to what has been removed, but jewellery from 2 displays at the museum's Apollo Gallery is where the jewels were taken. It holds the remnants of the French crown jewels. The Louvre, as you can see here, earlier closed shortly after. Exceptional reasons, it said. And authorities recovered a 19th century gem-encrusted crown near the museum, but the culprit's still at large and a target of a manhunt. Let's bring in Arthur Brand, historian detective, as I mentioned at the top, the so-called Indiana Jones of the art world, celebrated for recovering priceless works of Dali, Picasso, Van Gogh, and joins us on the programme. Welcome to France 24 tonight, Arthur. Let me ask your initial thoughts about how brazen this was and how quick it was too.
Well, it's the theft of the decade, you know, targeting the Louvre and
You've been to the Louvre, so you've probably seen the Mona Lisa behind the glass and roped off with like a 4-foot buffer, right? Why would they do that if it was a dupe? I don't know. To avoid having it be stolen. Like to make sure that there ain't no fucking way that is being stolen at all. It's like security theater. That's what I thought. Where do you think the real ones would be? What would even be the point of a museum? I'm not kidding when I say this. I literally thought that they just have it in the fucking, I don't know, in like a secret safe or something. I literally thought it was in a secret safe somewhere and they just like sometimes swap it in and out. Sorry, this is your funniest take ever. That's fucking hilarious. I'm not joking, dude. I genuinely thought that they just have all the shit in a secret safe and everything I've looked at is just like a very well done dupe. And they sometimes put the real stuff out there and they sometimes swap it out. And the reason for why they do that is because, like, you know, they just throw the thieves off their game, you know? Tell me this. Did you enjoy museums thinking you were looking at fake shit? Yeah, I still thought it was cool. I still thought it was cool. Why would they bother swapping it every now and then? I don't know, to throw people off. I clearly didn't put much thought into it. I don't know. I feel like it's what I'm saying is not that crazy. I feel like it is you, chat, who's crazy. You lost me at the switcheroo. First of all, if I was right, France wouldn't be crying tears right now. Okay? So who's the stupid one now? How dare you come to me in this moment where I'm the most correct with my position that they should have been dupes all along? It turns out, if they had dupes up there, they wouldn't have been duped by a bunch of fucking thieves. Vindication, why museums hide masterpieces away. In major museums around the world, some truly great works of art are hidden away from public view. What are they and why can't we see them? Numbers don't lie. New York's Museum of Modern Art, 24 of the 1,221 works by Pablo Picasso in the institution's permanent collection could currently be seen by visitors. Just one of California's conceptual artist Ed Ruscha's 145 pieces on view. The walls of the Tate, the Met, the Louvre, or MoMA may look perfectly well hung, but the vast majority of art belonging to the world's top art institutions and many countries' taxpayers is at any time hidden from public view in a temperature-cooled, darkened, meticulously organized storage facility. Overall percentages paint an even more dramatic picture. The Tate shows about 20% of its permanent collection. The Louvre shows 8%. The Guggenheim a lowly 3%. And the Berlinische Galerie, a Berlin museum whose mandate is to show, preserve, and collect art made in the city, 2% of its holdings. We don't have space to show more, says Berlinische Galerie director Thomas Köhler, explaining that the museum has 1,200 square meters in which display works acquired over decades through purchases and donations. Spatial deficit is only one reason why not. Another is fashion. Some holdings no longer fit their institution's curatorial missions. Lesser works by well-known artists may also languish. Their hits hang on museum walls. Their misses lie forgotten in flat files. Works that come to a museum within estate acquisitions might sit around in crates for years. Okay, that's not what I was, I'll be fair. That's not what I was advocating for. That's not what I was saying. Like, these guys are saying it's because, like, some of these are no motion paintings. And also for space related reasons.
Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. So it's the theft of the decade.
Your immediate sort of questions, you look a lot at museums, museum security. What questions do you have right now about just how this came about, 9:30, broad daylight, the speed of it, why they might have chose this morning, for example?
Well, it's Sunday morning. It's the quietest morning in the week. People are recovering from Saturday night, and it seems like a very simple theft. You know, they used this ladder. They entered. It took them 7 minutes to break the glass, which was not thick enough, obviously, and they went away with all these crown jewels. So something was wrong in the Louvre, not only today, but apparently already before, because, you know, it went too easy.
What do you mean? Talk to me about, you know, the comparisons that you perhaps have looked at in the past. You know, heists where security's been been of question, and what you've made in the past of the security at the Louvre?
Well, it's not that difficult to steal something from a museum. You can take a gun with.
Bro, why are you giving the game away? This man is just saying it's too easy. It's free money. It's free ball, baby. I'm surprised more people aren't doing it all the time, actually. Damn, dude.
The problem is what museums should do is they should slow these thieves down. What they do is they go 2-3 weeks before these thieves enter the museum, and they look at the glass, the vitrines, the doors, and they know they have only like 7 minutes before the police arrives. And in this case, they thought we can take this chance, and it happened, you know. So the glass was not thick enough. It was too easy to enter the doors. It was a complete disaster, this one.
I've seen your comment today that you've said this is a mistake for the thieves because French security services will no doubt be involved. The scale and the shock of this. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, if you target any museum, you get the police after you. But in this case, the Louvre, the most important museum in the world, stealing the crown jewels, Napoleon, you know, it's too much. This is headlines all over the world. And the fear is if you can do this heist at the Louvre, it can happen everywhere. So it's a bad day for the museum world. And
Bro, this guy is saying, one, it's super easy to steal from museums. You just need to take an officer's service weapon and they'll let you take whatever you want. And two, it's actually easy everywhere. This is a universally easy process. Everybody, go to your nearest museum right now and put your hand in the cash register. But in this instance, instead of the cash register, he means on the priceless works of art. It is yours. Demand it for the taking.
I hope they will be recovered pretty soon. Let's fingers crossed.
Given your experience in detective work, given your past, your advice is always going to be fairly.
I love this. He's a museum art thief detective too. He's like, listen, this job, you wouldn't believe it. Okay, you wouldn't believe it. Everyone should steal all the time. I am actually losing money. Okay, I'm so glad this happened because finally, a lot of people think museums are super airtight with their security. They're not. You should steal more so people hire me. I'm so fucking bored, dude. Please.
Valuable right now. What are your thoughts about the best way to catch them, the best method to go about it? Is there a key period? I imagine it's right at the start. And is there much chance?
These guys will lay low for a while because there is too much news now, too much media. And, you know, I think the police, if they catch them within a week, we might see these pieces back. If it takes longer, it will be difficult because most likely they will try to get rid of it as soon as possible. They might already have a plan. They might know people who can dismantle these jewels, who can melt stuff down. So it's a race against time. But as said, you know, it's the Louvre, Napoleon, the French Secret Service will be on this case. All the police officers who are on leave in Paris will be called in. So it will be a real manhunt as France never has seen before in these cases.
Well, you get to the heart of something for any art lovers. And Laurent Nunez, the French Interior Minister, mentioned it as well. It's an incalculable price of things that have gone missing, whether it's to do with Napoleon, the Empress as well. All of that centuries of diamonds, and the fact that you talk about potentially now being cut up or being sold if they to do it because you couldn't sell it as it is. You say within the art world, nobody would want that. Does the fact that they've dropped something tell you about the professionalism, the care or lack of for the items?
No, this happens often. They only have 7 minutes. They take as much as they can, and they know that something can fall out of their hands. I think this was not their first theft. You don't wake up in the morning as a normal citizen thinking, I become a criminal, let's do a robbery, let's target the Louvre. So these guys are known by the police. They have a criminal record. They have done heists before, maybe banks, jewelry shops, something like that. These are professionals. And, in 7 minutes, they targeted the Louvre, and the whole world is now talking about it.
Selling this on, what do you predict they will try and do? You talk about trying to smash it down. I mean, anybody listening to this is a kind of heartbreak to know that this potentially could be the last time in that form these things are seen. And yet we also heard you say, well, there's a kind of week where you'd be, is hopeful the wrong word or the right word, that there could be some redress here, a potential for recuperation?
Well, the thieves will be caught without a question. They will always get caught, and especially in this case, the Secret Service will be on it. The thing is, if you catch the thieves, that does not automatically mean that you get the loot. They might have sold it already to somebody. They might have melted it down. So that's a problem in these cases. It's
Christine Holmes said it was Nicaragua. They're sending ICE to blow up the Louvre. Yeah, they're blowing it up. Well, don't worry. ICE just got guided munitions. They just purchased them. They have to use them somewhere. You know what I mean?
a race against time.
Given your experience, are you getting any calls yet, Arthur, to be involved?
No, but if it takes too long for the police to catch them, and maybe someday, that has happened in the past, if these pieces are not being dismantled, I hope that someday I might get a call, from an informant.
Wait, what do you mean? I hope that one day I get a... Bro, he is doing an ad. I hope that one day I get a call because the cops ain't doing shit.
People talk, and in this case, there were 3-4 people involved. They have to get rid of the stuff. They have to talk to people to persuade them to melt it down. And there is always somebody who knows something who might send me or the police an email.
The patron saint of lost causes, Arthur, give us some hope. Tell us something that you found which will cheer us up, to give us some optimism of this news.
Well, in many cases, the police in France is a very good police force, and they are on the job. They will catch the thieves for sure, and hopefully they will not have had enough time to get rid of these pieces. So we had a big robbery similar like this in Germany a couple of years ago. The thieves got caught. The jewels came back, most of them. 2 pieces are still missing. So there is hope, but it's not a good day for the museum world. And it's not 100% sure that we will see these pieces back. But as said, the French police will do their job. And if not, maybe they call me.
Really good to talk to you this evening. Thank you, Arthur. Arthur Brand, art historian and art detective. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon, hopefully with good news. Let's listen to what the Culture Minister, Rashida Dati, had to say about the value and about the ability of the thieves to take what they did.
Near the Louvre Museum, a piece of jewellery was indeed found and is currently being analysed.
I can't believe they dropped it, dude. That is fucking nutty. I cannot believe they dropped the crown. Incredible work.
This is ongoing. We arrived immediately a few minutes after receiving information about this theft. This operation lasted almost 4 minutes. It was very quick. It must be said that these are professionals. Organised crime today targets art, and museums have obviously become targets. Because France, as you know, is a country with a rich historical heritage of great value, and so these museums have also become targets for these criminals.
Cross to the Louvre. Let's bring in Shirley Sitbum, our correspondent there. Shirley, it was quite incredible listening to Arthur Brand, art detective, saying this is the crime of the decade in the art world. And, there is this 7-day period that he believes is the best chance. And then after that, it's potentially all of this diamonds, jewellery smashed up and sold. Tell us what it's like being there right now, what the Louvre is saying about it. I don't think we have any explicit details of what was taken yet, do we? And about the security as well, what you're hearing about that.
Well, the feeling here is not as dramatic as what we just heard on air from the expert who knows what the situation is and the threat, of course, for those jewels, historic jewels. Here, it's more people who are stunned, who are surprised, who cannot believe. They feel like they're watching a movie. It's unbelievable. They say, many people that we've talked to, that thieves would actually bring their own lift, their goods lift, next to the museum and just get inside through a window to the most prestigious gallery, the Apollo Gallery, and just open, break open
Do you think they'll return it after Halloween? Yeah, someone just wanted to do the best possible Halloween costume of all time. Someone's going to be very upset that they can't do the crown, for the record. Straight out of Lupin the Third, bro. I know. I can't be the only one who thinks like this kind of shit is kind of cool, right? I mean, it's like messed up for the art world because like millions of people from all around the world get to like go and look at these things and it's kind of fucked up. But a part of me is like, it's like, this is cold. It's a little bit cold-blooded. Because it's like a bank robbery, you know? Like this shit doesn't happen anymore. Every now and then you got to let some stuff like this slide, you know, because it's like a cool crime.
Jewelry, and then just come back out without harming anyone and just escape. Of course, they left this a crown that was damaged, but they left. Since then, of course, the investigation has moved forward. The motorcycle has been found. Also, the element that helped open this window, get inside. But all this in 7 minutes, incredible. If it were a movie, people would say this is so unlikely, and we're seeing this here. So yes, people are stunned, a bit disappointed, some of them who wanted to visit the museum today and who are leaving the country and may not have another chance to do so, but they have a story to tell, definitely. There's not a dramatic sense yet around here outside the museum. I imagine that inside there is a dramatic sense, of course.
When we can see it as well, just behind you, we've got a close-up of some of the forensics there, the crime scene that's now become the Louvre. Any word, I guess, while the investigations continue, it will be closed, but there's no word on when tourists, art lovers can go back to the Louvre?
Well, the museum said it's closed for the day. It didn't say it will be closed tomorrow as well. We saw for several hours now various police experts, investigators searching that window. Of course, that's all we could see was the window and various cars, this lift that was examined for several hours until they took it out of the area and opened the road again. We had several hours, many police there watching this very closely. And, they've already managed to find some of the elements, this motorcycle. People here are hopeful that this will happen. You talked about security. Well, on the other side, we know the Apollo Gallery is on this side, right? On the other side, you have the actual main entrance. Now, that has been scaled up in recent years to avoid potential terrorist attacks, to improve security. But there are also robberies, and that type of robbery, those types of operations also need to be stopped. And the museum and other French museums as well have not worked on that enough. They need means, they need resources, manpower, and technical, they need to put up beams. There's a plan in place, but it hasn't been applied yet. And actually, people working on security at the museum have been fired. Jobs have been lost. So there was a protest. I mean, you probably talked about this back in June. Because of that, with employees saying there's not enough security. You took jobs down, and we need them back up, and even actually more security, because museums are a target, and the Louvre is the first among those.
Very interesting point, actually. It's one French MP has raised that today, the fact that the strikes could have had inextricable links to the level of securities, because the security staff are amongst those that it was affecting as well. Let me ask you something else. A lot of people, the visceral thought when you think about the Louvre and something going missing, first thing a lot of people I got messages about was the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa went missing in 1911. 3 years later, it was restored, found in Italy. You've been inside the Louvre. You've looked.
The Mona Lisa thing is so funny. Apparently, they just couldn't sell it. Why are you going to steal the Mona Lisa if you can't sell it? If you don't have a client in mind ahead of time? That's so dumb. At that point, just keep it. He kept it in a trunk by his bed. The coolest version of this is, yes, when China stole back their art from Europe. Like the Chinese government straight up hired a team of art thieves to execute one of the coolest fucking artifact retrievals of all time. The looting of Beijing's Garden of Eternal Brightness by European armies in the 1860s lingers in the tales of the diaspora. Yeah. Famously, they literally went and got they went and they hired people to go and just steal back their own artifacts, which is not even stealing back. It's just like retrieval, artifact retrieval. But yeah, ultimately, this story is completely out of fucking control. I think it's crazy. I think it's kind of awesome. It's fucked up, but it's like, it's fucked up for sure for all the art enjoyers, for all the history enjoyers out there. But also at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's just like, it's the objectively the coolest kind of crime. The jewels weren't insured, by the way. I don't understand any of this stuff. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand how little protection there were for priceless artifacts like this. Like, it's just so shocking that apparently all the jewelry thieves know. It's not that it's France. The fucking jewelry detective literally said, no, it's super easy to steal this stuff. People don't know. You can just go in and take it, and nobody will do anything about it. Like, I don't understand.